Mixing Apple Immersive Audio for Vision Pro is one of those workflows where one wrong setting can cost you an entire day, and you won't even know it until you test it on Vision Pro. So in this video, I'm going to show you the full correct workflow in the latest DaVinci Resolve Fairlight, step by step. We will cover the correct project setting, AirPods monitoring with real head tracking, the new Immersive Space View to verify placement and movement, upmixing first-order Ambisonics from the Sennheiser Ambio to a third-order ASAF scene, how to use IntelliTrack for AI auto-panning to video when subject move in 1D space, how to shape space with room simulation, and how to render APAC stamp ready for Vision Pro and Apple TV delivery. By the end of this tutorial, you will have a repeatable workflow you can trust. Let's dive in. Hey, welcome back! This is a long-awaited internet-first Apple Immersive Audio Masterclass, make free with love. If this helped you, drop a thumb up to support Kimchi. Over the past year, our team has produced more than 100 Apple Immersive videos on our app Spatial Film and projects you may have seen on Apple. If you own a Vision Pro, you have probably bumped into our work at some point. So this ASAP Masterclass is built from real production experience, not just theory. Now, I want to be completely honest to you. I'm a camera operator, not a sound mixer. I'm making this because I haven't seen a practical Fairlight guide that helps immersive filmmakers solve one of the biggest pain points in the whole immersive pipeline. Getting Apple Immersive Audio working properly, monitor properly, and export properly. But I'm not here to pretend this replaces a professional mix. Our narrative film like Henry VIII in Warwick and the Vanilla Lily series are all mixed by professional sound mixer in Dolby Atmos Studio using Pro Tools and Apple official spatial audio tool. This is the gold standard. So if you have the budget, hire an Atmos mixer who understands Apple Immersive Audio. Don't try to do everything yourself. This is not filmmaking. Before we jump in, there are a few basics I am not going to reteach in this video. First, watch my guide on capturing Apple Immersive Audio. Then watch my Fairlight Ambisonics mixing tutorial. If you are using the URSA Cine Immersive camera right here, watch the URSA Cine Immersive Audio basic tutorial too right here. One more thing, making sure your URSA Cine Immersive camera is on the latest camera firmware. It fixes the onboard stereo mic and it finally sounds good as scratch reference audio. It can even say a shoot when you forgot to roll your Ambisonics mic. Trust me, it happens to everyone. Even Kimchi, and he is arguably the best camera dog on the internet. Step 1. Open DaVinci Resolve Preferences, go to Video and Audio I/O and check both Enable Ambisonics and Enable Apple Spatial Audio format, then hit Save. If you do not see the option I'm about to show you or you do not hear spatial audio, this is probably why. There is also a chance these settings are turned off after an update, so double check before you move forward. Now create a new timeline, check Use Fairlight preset and select the Fairlight preset I'm going to give you. This preset is available to download on my Patreon for free, link in the description down below. For educational purpose, let me also teach you how to create this preset from scratch. Uncheck Use Fairlight preset and we start from fresh. Go to the Fairlight page and click Bus Format. By default, you will have a stereo bus. Keep it for stereo mixing and references. Click Add Bus to create a new bus and name it ASAP Scene. Change the format to ASAP Scene Third Order Ambisonics with 16 channels. Also, change the color to red. Okay, why third order if you only have the first order Ambisonics from the Sennheiser Ambio mic? One of the beautiful things about Fairlight compared to other DAWs, like Reverb or Pro Tools, is its native support for Ambisonic audio. Meaning, it will handle the upmix and downmix for you in the background without you worrying about it. This is usually done with a third-party plugin like Perfect Surround, Pantheon on Reverb or in Adobe Audition. In Fairlight though, you do not need an upmixer, so it saves you a lot of money out of the gate.
And this channel is all about saving you money. So if you love saving money, hit that like button and subscribe.
The real reason we set it to third order is because third order sound a lot better than first order. And we hope you will graduate from the first order Sennheiser MPO to something like this, or even this, for higher order ambisonic capture. Do not be that guy or gal who attach a $300 mic on a $30,000 camera. I'm pointing at you, Kimchi. Add another bus, name it Headlock, and change the color to lime green. Keep it stereo. Use any color you want, by the way, but keep them consistent. You will quickly know why when you have hundreds of objects and channels in Space View later on. This is very common for feature film and documentary. Staying organized in your audio is the key to success. This Headlock bus is for audio that does not move with the viewer head on Vision Pro, like music or VO from Morgan Freeman. You do not have to do this, but this is Apple best practices. We do this in Masterclass and YouTube VR mixing as well. If you want to sound like a pro, use the pro workflow. Know the rule first, then you can break it. Finally, very important, add the ASAP Master bus. Select ASAP Master and set it to orange. This enables Apple Immersive Audio in your mixing. Hit OK, you should see the Apple icon right here to tell you now you are working in Apple Spatial Audio format, aka ASAF. Now create 7 tracks. Audio 1 is your camera reference audio, stereo. Audio 2 and Audio 3 are mono for your dialogues. We start with 2 and add more if needed. Audio 4 is Ambix. It should be first order ambisonic, used to house our Sennheiser MPO output from the Zoom F6. Audio 5 is a placeholder for sound effects. Audio 6 is mono voiceover, and Audio 7 is stereo music track. Go ahead and mute your camera reference audio. In bus output, send LUFS 1, LUFS 2, Ambix, sound effects to ASAP Scenes. Send the VO and the music track to Headlock. Then send ASAP Scene and Headlock track to ASAP Master. One last thing, open the index panel, find the Headlock audio track, and under type, change channel to object. Open the inspector window if you have not already, and change the ASAP object type to Headlock. Okay, now we are done. Go to the Fairlight menu, select Preset Library. In the dropdown, select Fairlight Configuration Preset and click Save New. Name it and save it. There is a lot to memorize, and that is exactly why I'm giving you my preset template for free to download. Next time, in any project, all you need to do is to check Use Fairlight Preset, pick the preset we just created, and you are ready to go. Now, drop in your Blackmagic URSA Cine immersive footage. If you do not have any though, go to my Patreon page and download some clip to practice with. You will not have this exact project because this is actually a real documentary we are making right now. But you will have the real broad footage you can follow on. I want to teach this using real world material, not a perfect sample project from the Blackmagic website, because real projects come with real problem, and that is where we actually learn. We are Emmy-winning immersive filmmakers. We do this for a living. And yes, I post on YouTube, but I'm not here to chase the algorithm, retention graph, or whatever AI trend is hot this week. I make this masterclass for you, fellow filmmakers, pioneer storytellers, trying to do something that most people still think is impossible. And as someone who teaches at a college level, I can tell you this. People do not learn filmmaking from pointless TikTok video or Instagram reels or generic YouTube tutorial. They learn from practice, from real world footage, from real mistake, from real problem solving. So let's work like professionals.
Fake it until you make it.
In this documentary, we have 2 speakers, Kitty and Coach. They all have their own lavalier microphone. And we also have the first order ambisonic track in A format from the Sennheiser MPO VR mic. When you first import ambisonic audio, Resolve often does not know what that is, so you need to tell it. Right-click the ambisonic clip, go to Clip Attribute, set it to ambisonic first order, and delete all the extra mono track. Then hit OK. Simple, right? But only if you feel sound recording workflow is correct. And this is where a lot of people get stuck. If you hire someone who has never captured spatial audio, you might end up with B format instead, and that is the raw ambisonic format. If that happens, you need that person who recorded it to convert it into A format MBX. Or you can watch this tutorial, my Ambisonic tutorial right here, where I show you how to convert B format RAW into A format MBX. But if you follow my capture tutorial right here and you record Apple spatial audio correctly with the Zoom F6, then good job, you are ready to move on. Now drop the A format Ambisonic track onto your MBX track. Next question, how do we sync everything? If you follow my last tutorial on capturing ASAF, you should have timecode on all your audio files. Do not sync them in media page, by the way. There is currently a known bug in DaVinci Resolve that can mess up your syncing. I reported to Blackmagic already. For now though, the workaround is to sync them in the edit page one by one. It is very easy actually. Select everything, click auto align clips, choose timecode and hit sync. Then look at your waveform, everything should align beautifully. That saves you hours of painful manual syncing. Also, extra filmmaking tip, make sure the slate is in frame first before you hit record on the camera so the editor can see the take and scene number clearly when they go into hundreds of takes. They will like you more if you make their life a bit easier. Syncing is easy in traditional 24 frames film, but good luck on Apple Immersive Video where you are working in 90 frames per second. Timecode sync is not optional in my book if you value your time and respect your post team. Do not be that filmmaker. Watch this timecode tutorial again and learn it. Your immersive editor and your sound mixer are your best friend. Do not piss them off by giving them a project with no timecode sync. Now, depending on your sync solution, you may see an offset. For my technical sync system right here, I get a small offset in a 90 frames per second timeline, and that is very normal because technical is only captured in 30 frames per second. A better sync box can be more accurate, but everything costs extra money. That is good enough, so just nudge it. And that right there is why real world footage matters. You run into real problem that no manual and no generic tutorial will ever cover. If you appreciate this real world approach, drop a thank you comment for Kimchi down below. Okay, now do the rest of the film. Do your sound design, basic 2D mixing, all the stuff you should already know as a filmmaker. So to save you time, I'm not going to make you watch me mix an entire documentary from scratch. I already have the finished project right here, and I want to walk you through what actually matters. We keep this super simple. 2 sound effect tracks, 2 lavalier tracks, 1 VO track, 2 music track, and 1 ambisonic track. That's it. And I want to underline this. Capturing a good ambisonic spatial audio track on set is everything. This documentary is about Olympic fencing. 90 frames per second, high action, sword fights. There is no way you want to recreate all of that in post and then spatialize it from scratch. It is possible, sure, but it will take weeks, so do not get lazy. Use an ambisonic mic on set when you can. Even a cheap $300 ambisonic mic is better than no mic at all. Let's quickly go over what we did right here. First, we right-click each track and set it to the correct track category. Dialogue is dialogue, music is music, effects are effects. This makes everything downstream work a lot better and more organized. Then we go to timeline, AI tool, audio assist, and we set it the deliver standard to YouTube, and we let it auto mix the tracks. And yes, I'm going to say it. In 2026, AI audio mixing is getting so good that as a good starting point. Almost good, but this is not the final mix. This is just the foundation. I'm still gonna go in and do a manual pass on top of what AI give me to make it feel right. On each LUFS, I use AI voice isolation and AI dialogue leveler. My dialogue is captured in a 32-bit flow using Sennheiser K9 in professional quality, so I can push this to pretty hard without hearing ugly artifacts. But I still do not slam it to 100%. I usually set it around 70%. Now, here is an important concept. Write this down. In 2D documentary mixing, I almost never do aggressive voice isolation. But in Apple Immersive Video, we want the dialogue signal to be extremely clean. That means removing most of the background noise, echo, reverb, and might bleed. Not because those sounds are bad, but because those sounds are not spatial. Your environment should come from your Ambisonics microphone because that bed is spatial and it wraps around the viewer properly. That is the biggest mindset shift from 2D to Apple Immersive Audio. Clean dialogue for spatial placement and spatial room tone from Ambisonics.
Weapons, I would call them, but he's going to correct me on the term. They're not weapons. What are they?
They are
now we have another real problem here. When you boost the Ambisonics track, you can clearly hear the hum from the air conditioner. This is an Olympic training facility, not a film studio. Noise is unavoidable. And that is where Fairlight has a huge advantage. Almost all Fairlight effects work on spatial and Ambisonics audio. So tools like multi-band compressor, limiter, and EQ work on the Ambisonics bed as well. You can treat it like traditional audio and still stay in that Ambisonics workflow.
Tell us all about different techniques, different weapons, I would call them, but he's going to correct me on the term. They're not weapons. What are they?
They are actually weapons. So
they are? Okay.
So these are our three swords of fencing.
So we add an EQ, we cut the low end, and we remove the harsh top end and reduce the air conditioner high pitch. And we boost a little bit of mid-range to keep the bed present. It will sound a little bit muffled, and that is fine because that is not your hero track. That is just your Ambisonics bed. Then we'll bring the level down and use it as a room tone. If you appreciate this practical approach, real-world problem and real-world solution, you know what to do now. Drop Kimchi a thank you comment down below. Now, how do you monitor Apple Immersive Audio? Use an AirPod. Because right now, this is the most reliable way to monitor Apple Immersive Audio with binaural rendering and head tracking, the way your audience will actually hear on DaVinci Pro. Connect your AirPod over Bluetooth, then in Fairlight, change your monitoring source to ASAF master and set the monitor format to binaural. You should see this icon right here now that tell you the binaural monitoring path is now active. Now we also need to talk about levels. You cannot mix Apple Immersive Audio by looking at your old 2D meters and call it a day. Metering and leveling is different between 2D and ASAF. For example, you might notice the 2D bus right here, the meter is in the red, but in my ASAF, Loudness, and LUFS are totally fine. That can happen and it will confuse you if you do not know what you are looking at. So make sure your meters are actually showing the Apple ASAF metering standards. Click this three dot right here and set your meter to Apple ASAF. Now you are looking at the right loudness target and you can mix with confidence. The next task is to spatializing your sound source. Let me show you something really cool right here. Go to Fairlight, Immersive Audio, Space View. By default, you will see this boxier room view. Let's change the scenes mode to spherical plane, turn on auto zoom, and compact meters, and all the other options. Now hit play. Pretty cool, right? You can see all your audio objects, their relative position to the viewers, their meters, and even their movement in space. This is how you actually mix immersive audio like a pro, because you are now not guessing, you can actually see it. Now the question is, how do you position Kitty's laugh to viewer left and coach to viewer right inside the space view? Well, here's how. First, click here to enable your tracker control. Now click Immersive. Go here and change the timeline from lin space to lat long. Now your tracker is in the correct physical space of the video. Now go to Kitty's laugh trap, double click the pan control. Your default view should look like this. Turn on 3D and turn on Spatial. Now, your sound is represented in a true 3D space, just like your immersive video. You can middle mouse button drag and rotate the sphere, or click here to switch to top-down view. Now, all you need to do is to move the azimuth and the elevation slider to place the tracker point on Kitty's mouth in the video. That's it. Now the sound source is placed correctly. Do the same thing for coach as well, it is that easy. For a simple 2-person interview like this with minimal movement, this is usually enough. But if you want a precise sound source, you need to animate and track your sound to the video. I already have a detailed tutorial right here on manual tracking. In this masterclass, I want to show you a different method that I actually use in production. AI IntelliTrack. It can save you a lot of manual tracking headaches. If AI can do it faster and better than you, why manually track it? IntelliTrack has improved a lot in the latest Fairlight update, so please make sure you are on the latest version of Studio. Step 1 is to proxy your URSA Cine Immersive Broad video. Spend a couple hours to proxy all your footage. It sucks, I know, but it helped a lot on a 16K 90 frames per second timeline. The proxy settings I use here are ProRes Proxy at 1/8 resolution, extremely lightweight. And remember, you have to use ProRes. If you worry about storage space, use ProRes Proxy. It's lighter than H.264 and it keeps all the Apple Immersive ILPD metadata. After Proxy is done, make sure you get real-time playback in the Fairlight page. Now select the audio you want to track, set your in and out point for the length of the tracking. In the automation dropdown right here, select the attribute you want to track. You can pick azimuth or elevation. This part is actually optional. I just want to see the green automation line. Now click azimuth and elevation so they turn red. Click auto. Move your playhead to the beginning of the clip. Move the tracker onto the speaker's mouth. Then hit this target icon right here to start IntelliTrack. It will stop when tracking fails. If you move your playhead forward, you will see why. The source is now blocking the speaker's face. No worry though, you can manually animate through this section until you can see his mouth again. Then move the tracker back to his mouth and run IntelliTrack again. For this clip, it is actually easier to track his nose and eye. So we move the tracker there and now the AI can track all the way through to the end without stopping.
Kind of weapon, it's got a bigger valve, and it's got a triangular blade, and you're trying to hit with the tip of the weapon. And when we're trying to hit with the APAC, we get hit anywhere from the toe all the way up to the head.
And because we are missing a third order ambisonic, the spatial definition is a lot higher, and you can actually hear the dialogue moving with the coach. And this instantly improve your production value of your Apple Spatial mix. If you appreciate the effort to save you time and insanity with the latest technology, please share this video with your network on LinkedIn or X so other creators can benefit. Do not be the gatekeeper. Sharing is loving. Now, do the same for any audio source that moves. And do not forget static sound effects like the saw crashing right here. This is static, so you can simply place it in the planner. Great! Now we are done with stabilization. Next is spatial mixing. Apple deserves credit right here. Apple did a lot of heavy lifting for us. They did not just ship a device like the Apple Vision Pro right here. They built an actual end-to-end workflow for professional creators, and they make immersive audio way more approachable than what we used to deal with. If you remember my older tutorial in the old day of Oculus and second order TPE, you know what I meant. That workflow was complicated. Working in ASAF is a breath of fresh air. Now go to your ASAP master and set the content type. Let's set it to movie as that is what we are making right here. Mix monitor, leave it as the default virtual reality. Now choose the reverb preset based on your room. This is a media size room, so I'm using media room. And think about how crazy this is. This type of professional preset used to cost thousands of dollars in VST plugin. Now Apple just give it to you for free. If you want to customize it, open room simulation. Change the material of the floor, wall, and ceiling has a huge impact on how the reverb sound. Try to match it to your real capture environment. One thing I personally do a lot is to raise absorption. I tend to feel the default reverb is a little bit too strong for Apple Immersive video. That is a personal taste though, so adjust it to your own project. Now, here's a key detail. You will not hear any of this until you turn on the room simulation on your ASAP object. So go to the code track right here, under room simulation, turn it on. Now go back to your ASAP master and dial in your setting to taste.
And so the FA from the toe all the way up to the head. So we're trying to hit with the...
If you do not have a strong Ambisonics bed, now you can increase the inflection to simulate that more realistic space. Pretty cool. Most of the other settings I usually just leave it untouched, but if you want to understand every single attribute, Blackmagic just released an amazing menu that explains what each control does. Me, I am an artist. I like to play with knobs and slider and learn with my ear. And that is what I recommend you to do as well. Experiment, break things. Do not blindly follow so-called expert advice. Let me let you in a little secret right here. There's no real expert in the Apple Immersive video production space unless you are literally talking to someone from Apple. This workflow is still new. Everyone is still learning, including me. So do not let haters or gatekeepers scare you away. Be an artist, not just a menu follower. AI can read a menu, AI can follow pattern, but AI can never make art. Copying does not make you an artist. Being original does. Find your taste, find your style, get your hand dirty. That is how you get better. One more practical tips. Go to your Headlock audio bus right here and turn on Reverb there too. Then blend that Reverb into the ASAP master. It sounds almost magical. It put your VO and your music into the same virtual space as the scene, even if the VO or the music track was never recorded there. And that is how you makes the entire mix feel believable inside Apple Vision Pro. Finally, let's talk about export. I do not export ASAP together with the immersive video. I usually do it separately. At this point, I already created my Apple Immersive Video master file from Apple Compressor. If you do not know how to do that, refer to my compressor tutorial right here. So all we need now is to render the APAC file for final delivery. Scroll all the way down here and select Vision Pro Preview, select ASAP. For codec, choose Apple Spatial Audio Format MP4. For output track, select ASAP Master, then hit render. Now open Apple Immersive Video Utility. Find the AI video file you render from Apple Compressor, right click it, choose Replace Audio Stream, and select the new MP4 file you just rendered from Resolve. And this will mock so AI video with the new audio without re-rendering in Compressor, which can save you hours. That is an extra tip you only get from this channel. Alright, we covered a lot today. And if you follow along, you now have a repeatable workflow you can trust, from project setting to monitoring, to spatialization, to IntelliTrack, to room simulation, to final delivery. Now I want to hear from you. What are you trying to make? What is your biggest pain point in Apple Immersive Video ecosystem right now? Audio, color, ILPD, camera equipment, export, performance, anything. Drop it in the comment section down below, because your feedback directly shape what we're gonna teach next. This is not me talking at you. This is us building the playbook together. If you are pursuing immersive filmmaking, just know you are not alone. Kimchi and I are your biggest cheerleaders. Okay, Kimchi, stop generating AI slop. Nobody wants to see you in tutu. But seriously though, reach out, comment, share your problem. Let us help you. There is a real community here. People who are building, testing, breaking things, and learning together. If this masterclass saved you time, save you insanity, and help you ship a better mix, hit the like and share. It helps YouTube to show this to more filmmakers who need it. And if you want more practical, real-world Apple Immersive Video tutorial, subscribe. Join the Patreon community if you want the preset, practice file, and the behind-the-scenes workflow. Oh, one more thing. This fencing documentary is coming soon on Spatial Film for Apple Vision Pro. Keep an eye out and support our original film. Ciao.